Do you expect there to be calls from within the Trump campaign to do that? Because he's going to reach out to his supporters and say, let's take this down. We do not know, again, the source of any gunshot or gunshots. We don't know who's responsible for this. The whole thing has yet to be 100% confirmed from start to finish how this all played out. But do you expect to hear anything from the Trump campaign about toning down the rhetoric?
So unsurprisingly, the media's coverage of the second Trump assassination attempt that occurred today in Palm Beach, Florida, has been nothing short of repulsive, unacceptable, and disgusting. And in this video, we'll obviously get into what MSNBC had to say about it. But first, take a listen to what even regular mainline primetime NBC News and Lester Holt, the way they covered what happened today.
Today's apparent assassination attempt comes amid increasingly fierce rhetoric on the campaign trail itself. Mr. Trump, his running mate J.D. Vance continue to make baseless claims about Haitian immigrants in Ohio. This weekend, there were new bomb threats in that town. Our Maggie Vespa is in Columbus, Ohio, with more.
Lester, simply put, Springfield, Ohio has been inundated by threats over the last several days, closing government buildings, schools, hospitals. Today, effectively closing a local university campus after administrators said someone threatened a mass shooting targeting Haitians. This in light of, officials say, a false online conspiracy theory alleging Haitian immigrants in that city are eating people's pets.
Folks, if you enjoy the content, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you are new. But you have Donald Trump, who just got shot at. And the way that NBC decides to cover it is to say, oh, well, you know, Trump got shot at today. Someone tried to assassinate him. Anyways, here's a long list of reasons why he's so bad because he's demonizing Haitian migrants and blah, blah, blah. It's like, you know, this is exactly what they did actually after the first assassination attempt as well, which is even though we literally saw what happened, they create this boogeyman of right-wing violence and try to tell you, no, that even still is the problem. You know, that shooter who shot Donald Trump, he was a Trump supporter. Yeah, nobody really believes that at all. But anyways, that was NBC News again, still claiming that Trump saying they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats at the debate is apparently a bigger story to the media outlets in their eyes than the actual fact that someone tried to assassinate him today. Now, take a listen to MSNBC. They're going one step farther. They're not even just trying to downplay the situation or still paint Trump as the bad guy. They are outright blaming Donald Trump in the wake of what just happened to him. Apparently, it's kind of like his own fault. Take a listen to what they had to say.
Yeah. Do you expect there to be calls from within the Trump campaign to do that? Because he's going to reach out to his supporters and say, let's take this down. We do not know, again, the source of any gunshot or gunshots. We don't know who's responsible for this. The whole thing has yet to...
Okay, so update. It's basically confirmed at this point. It was an attempted assassin, and the shots were trying to target Trump. Okay, so
100% confirmed from start to finish how this all played out. But do you expect to hear anything from the Trump campaign about toning down the rhetoric, toning down the violence, or would that be atypical of the former president?
Well, Alex, remember back to the assassination attempt on President Trump's life and how, you know, there was talk of a new tone, and then the Republican convention was, by Trumpian standards, muted. And it did seem like he was, you know, just trying to take it down a few notches. But then by the end of his convention speech, you know, we were kind of back to where we started. So I don't know how long this could, you know, this moment of unity for the country where we come together and we say, I don't want any political opposition to be under threat of violence. It's not okay. Any threat of violence, you know, we don't want. I would love for us to have a unity type moment, but I think it's probably going to be pretty fleeting, as we've seen in the past.
So we have, again, Donald Trump is the one who just got shot at, right? He's the one who just faced another attempted assassination. And MSNBC is not thinking to themselves, Is it Kamala's turn? Is it their own turn, right? The Democrat-leaning media outlet. Is it our job to tune down the rhetoric? No, apparently, the inflamed rhetoric, again, when the guy is getting shot at, it is apparently his fault that this is happening to him. That's the implication of this discussion here. And then on top of that, toning down the rhetoric is Donald Trump's job to do, again, when it is people from the other side who are so angry at him, they're trying to shoot him. So it's not MSNBC's job to tune down the rhetoric. It's not Kamala Harris who needs to come out and say, okay, violence has no place in this country. It's his fault. But like I said, this is exactly what they did after the first assassination attempt is. Even in the wake of that, the boogeyman in America is still the right-wingers. It's the MAGA people and their violence. Hey, look at January 6th or some misleading statistics about how white supremacy is the biggest terror threat in the United States. I don't know. But if you want to talk about toning down the rhetoric, let's also be very clear. And by the way, they are also claiming that it is Trump's rhetoric against illegal immigration that is causing things like bomb threats or whatever in Springfield and all this stuff happening. Then let's see if MSNBC wants to be held accountable under the same metrics, because newsflash, it's not exactly going to go well for them. Take a listen to some of the things that MSNBC has recently had to say about Donald Trump and correlate that with the type of things that are now happening. To be clear, I'm not directly saying that like, oh, MSNBC or the media did this. Like, I think we should have a high bar when it comes to free speech. Like, just because you're using divisive or harsh political rhetoric doesn't mean you're inciting violence. But if they're going to use that standard against us, then I think it's perfectly fair to call into reason some of the things that have aired on that very network recently. So take a listen.
A lot of people have tried to draw similarities between Mussolini and Hitler and the use of the terminology like vermin and the drive that those men had towards autocracy and dictatorship. The difference, though, I think makes Donald Trump even more dangerous, and that is he has no philosophy he believes in. He is not trying to expand the boundaries of the United States of America. He's not trying to overcome a neighboring country like Putin is in Ukraine. He is not going for some grandiose scheme of international dominance. All he wants is to look in the mirror and see a guy who's president. All he cares about is selfish self-promotion. That's the only philosophy he has, which makes him even more dangerous because he has actually said out loud that it would be okay to terminate the Constitution.
Okay, so you heard that right there. Again, this aired on MSNBC. He is more dangerous than Mussolini or the Mustache Man. Okay? So again, like, it's free speech. You are entitled to say that. I'm not. But if you're going to go down the rabbit hole of who is inciting violence and you want to put this side by side with the fact that literally, again, for the second time in the span of a few months, an armed gunman was trying to assassinate Donald Trump, and you want to have a talk about divisive political rhetoric in this country, obviously that is grounds for a discussion. And folks, it goes a lot deeper than that. And I don't need to tell you this, but there's a lot more examples of this stuff.
I talk about the fact that when we swore in finally in January, that we swore to defend against those that are coming against us, whether they are domestic or international. And right now, I feel like MAGA in general, they are threats to us domestically. And we see it time and time again. And I think that's why you see so many national leaders, whether they're Republicans or Democrats, coming together to say there is only one person qualified to be the commander in chief, and that is Kamala.
So Donald Trump is a domestic threat to this country. You have him out there saying he's more dangerous than Mussolini or Hitler. He's a fascist. He's going to do all this stuff. Again, if you really want to go down this path, you guys, the media, are the ones publicizing stuff like this. And obviously, we know what happened in Palm Beach, Florida today. So, I mean, again, does the same logic apply? Of course, we know the answer is no, right? We know the answer is absolutely no. We know that we live in this two-tiered, like, dystopian media atmosphere as well as governmental system in our country in many ways. But just going to point that out. Okay, so with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. What do you think of the media's reaction to yet another assassination attempt? Again, they're just saying, oh, it's Trump's job to tone down the rhetoric. It's basically his fault. But absolutely insane and ridiculous and frankly kind of disgusting. But that said, be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, God bless and peace.